Welcome to the 106th episode of the MC Knitting Adventures podcast. My name's Colleen.
And my name is May. Welcome, returning viewers. And for those of you watching us for the first time, we're so glad you could join us. On today's adventure, we head to St. Catharines, also Niagara-on-the-Lake, which is one of our favorite spots to go to. We took my mom there for Mother's Day, so we're hoping that you'll enjoy that video with us. And also, we went to visit the Pink Flower Yarns. No, the Pink Flower Lady Yarns, right?
Yes.
And that was in St. Catharines, and it's a brand new store. And we're excited about that because we've often gone to that area and there hasn't been much around.
No, that's true.
And so this is a brand new store. She was only open for about 8 weeks. So we're excited to share that adventure with you. But before we begin, Colleen will talk about what we're wearing.
Now, it is summer here. Well, maybe not quite, but the weather is getting warmer. So I said to May, what are you willing to put on? So what she found...
But we're in the basement, so it's a little cooler.
It's a little cooler. So what I found for May is one of her favorites, which is the Anguli Cowl by Hilary Smith Callis. She loves this one.
I do.
And I found some finesse cotton silk DK and made it with that. And I think you like the softness of it.
I do. I love the softness.
And it drapes, because of the silk, it drapes really nicely. And so it's not too hot for you and you're doing okay. So that's what May is wearing. And I am wearing something called the It Bee by Laura Nelkin. And it was one of the Lola's Choice kits. And it had what's called Dando Cotton Fine. And it's a 100% cotton yarn. Interesting to work with. Blocked great, which cotton can be a little interesting. I was really pleased with it because it opened up the lace. And the nice thing is there's just a few little beads and it keeps the weight down. So it's very fine cotton, but the beads help to keep it in place.
And perfect for a day like today.
Exactly.
It's nice and light, but gives you a little bit of color around there.
Exactly, which is good because sometimes we just blend in. So that's what I'm wearing, and next we're going to talk about finished objects. My first finished object was almost finished last time, but I needed to do some sewing. So it is called the Brioche Twist by Suzanne Sommer. Love this pattern. So I decided to keep May's hair nice. I would just put a thorn there.
Because we don't want to mess up this.
No, don't want to mess up the do.
Actually, if you're wondering where we get my hair cut, and my hairdresser, Colleen's my hairdresser too. You just got a whole bunch of talents, don't you? But ever since COVID, you know how we weren't going out and getting our hairs done and everything. So ever since COVID, Colleen we'd go in the garage and I'd be freezing out there and she'd just cut my hair. So I just kept going with it because I like it. Not that I don't like going to the hairdresser, but our hairdresser is right next door, which we have found very convenient, and she's lovely. But I just like it when Colleen does it because then I can do it late at night. I don't have to make an appointment.
Exactly.
I love it. So thank you for being my hairdresser.
You're welcome. No problem.
And my personal knitter.
So, finished object. There you go.
Finished object. So thanks for not wanting to mess up this lovely hairdo.
There you go.
Hairdresser.
So all that I had to do, remember we talked about the could have been a tube top. All I had to do was I just had to sew this together. And the nice thing is it's not too hard to match up the different colors. And so I think it worked well.
I love this.
Exactly. I think it'll keep people warm.
Yes.
So I used 2 yarns, and I used acrylic, and I used Mary Maxim Starlet Worsted. That's the white. And the black is Red Heart Soft. Now, you could use wool and probably would be a little bit warmer, but you never know who you're going to give it to, whether they like wool or what's going on.
Wool can be a little rustic on my face.
That's right.
Most people find that, but it's a little...
Do you know, some people can wear like toothy yarns, which is that rustic
skin
yarn.
must be like leather.
I don't know. I'm not one of those people. Like if I'm going to wear something that is that kind of wool, definitely need to have lots of layers underneath.
I have sensitive skin. I don't have cow skin.
No.
Leather.
There you go. So that's my first finished object. Now my next finished object is a pair of socks. And these are the Wizardy Socks by KF Jones.
Love the color.
Now the nice thing about this pattern is it has the fingering weight version and the DK version. Now I did the fingering weight version, but I used a yarn that's a little heavier, and that's Bernat Socks, which is lovely because the person that these for are one of those people who don't like wool. So it's perfect. Now, are they a little looser than I might like them? Yes, so I think when I gift them, I'm just going to call them reading socks.
Oh, that's a good
So the
idea.
kind of socks you kind of curl up on the couch and
Right,
just, you
because
don't need them.
they are a little wider. You can
Yeah,
tell they're
or
broad.
you might be able to put them in a winter boot. But anyway, they are a little bit wider. They don't have that ribbing, but I do like the pattern. It was lots
Yeah.
of fun to do.
Nice. Those are really nice.
All right, so that's that. And then my next finished objects kind of all come together. So here they are. We'll start with those. And so these are the Flower Face Scrubby by Sarah Gross.
Good thing that wasn't my mom's china.
That's for sure. And I used the Estelle sets.
These are great. It just takes your makeup off and
Exactly, and you can throw them in the
Wash.
laundry and do that.
That's
So
great.
that's good. Now, the one that is this lovely color, so these were almost done last time. This is brand new. And that's because one of the 50-gram balls of suds allow you to make one of the whippy wash mitts, and that's by KF Jones.
that's great.
Which is great because for, to buy a 50-gram ball of this cotton, you get both of those things.
That's nice. That'd be a nice little gift set for
I think
somebody.
so.
Very good.
You know what? We could make soap that matches it.
I like that idea.
Okay.
Maybe we call it lime verbena.
Maybe. You never know. Okay. So that's that. All right. My next finished object.
You have been busy, busy, busy. And in
I
between
might.
this, just so you know, Colleen makes soap and she makes bath bombs and she makes shower steamers. And she made this really nice the other day. You made this nice solid lotion bar. Beautiful. It'd be perfect for, I said, that would be perfect for knitters. And Colleen said, yes, perfect for knitters.
Right.
So if you ever come to one of our little craft things when we ever get there, we'll have to let you know when you can buy one of those. There's a lot. It was beautiful. I love it. We had it on the kitchen table, and every time I kept walking by, I would just rub my hands in it, and it
Exactly.
felt great. It would go right into the skin.
Yeah, because I
Really
find
nice.
when you're knitting, sometimes you lose all the moisture in
Right.
your hand. So it is. It's just a quick like this, and it's.
And what was in it
everything.
was beeswax in there. There
Yep.
was some oil, other oils.
Cocoa butter.
Nice.
Yeah, all kinds of good things in
Yeah,
it.
it was great.
Exactly. So that was fun. That's a whole other conversation. All right. Back to my last finished object, and that is the Rumple Socks. It's a sock day. And that's by KF Jones. And I do like this pattern. I had made a pair of these socks for May, and I chose to do it out of Regia Premium Merino Yak,
Oops.
which is lovely yarn to work with. And there you go.
These
So
are lovely,
when
too.
they're a plain yarn, or a tonal yarn, you can see the pattern a little
This
bit
is
better.
great.
I really like that.
That's a little really hug your leg. I think.
Exactly. Yes,
Have
I
you
really
tried
like
these
them.
on? Like,
I have.
and
And they fit, and they fit well. Are they as snug as I like a sock to be? No.
really,
And I'm surprised, but I think it has to do with the fact that at the foot, you get the knitting part along the bottom, which
Right.
it needs to be, and it doesn't quite snug it in as much.
Right.
So I am one of those people, well, May will attest to, that when it comes to socks and shoes, oh my goodness.
have you ever gone to a shoe store with Colleen? It is a episode.
Yes, it is an adventure.
It is an adventure all by itself.
That's right.
Because your feet are like size, I don't know, 5.5, 6.
Something like that.
Sometimes you're 6, sometimes you're 5.5, and you cannot buy a 5.5 in a store. And Colleen will complain that she can never find shoes, but I have closets and closets at the house that say otherwise.
Well, sometimes you think, oh, well, these will do.
And then you don't end up wearing them. Is that what happens?
Well, you buy work shoes, and then you stop working because you retire, then you got all the work shoes.
Anyway, the shoe thing is the thing.
That's
Colleen
right.
once told me she had she says, well, I've only got 15 pairs of shoes.
That's
I'm
right.
like, okay, I don't think that's true.
She was going to make me count, but
I
then
was
she
going to
decided
bring
she
them
would.
all out and put them all on the floor, but never happened.
No.
But anyway, going shopping for shoes with Colleen is quite the adventure.
Exactly.
And I do it, and I'm very patient
Yes.
for about the first hour.
Yes.
And then on the second hour, I'm losing
Yeah.
my patience.
That's
But
right.
Anyway, it is nice.
Now,
And
when
with
we
some
were
shoes.
away, in 5 minutes, had a pair of shoes.
I couldn't believe that. You said
That's because it was a 5.5. The 5.5 that you could never find.
Well, I'm glad you found shoes. that you
So back to socks.
Yeah.
The thing with socks is most patterns are either 64 stitch or 58 stitch. 58 stitch? Yes, 56 stitch. 64, 56. And the problem with that is sometimes the 56. Around the leg is a little snug. So I've figured out that I use a bigger needle, and then it works really, really well.
Well, I'm
these
glad-
are great, and I love them, and they're going to be comfy for the winter.
Yes, they'll be like for the winter, but
That's right.
you're gonna have to start since the summer weather's coming. Start changing it up with the socks, and do you not have to knit a season before?
You kind of do.
You kind of do, because I'm
Yeah.
thinking if you start knitting now,
Yeah.
your summer collection.
Right. So I should have started probably in February knitting a summer sweater. And
Right.
it appears I didn't. So maybe what I need to do now is start knitting a winter sweater.
But you've been kind of busy,
Just a little bit.
a little bit.
So those are my finished objects in May. How about you?
I've been busy too, Colleen.
Yes, you have.
Yes, I have. I'm busy. I know I've made my molds, prototypes. I've
Yes.
never really actually brought my mold down that I've
Right.
actually finished, but
Right.
I've finished the mold. So here is our soap mold that is now finished. And I put this little bolt in here, thank goodness.
Thank
because,
goodness.
And then this comes out, so Colleen can take the soap out.
Exactly.
I say Colleen because she's doing most of the soap making these days. I must admit, I'm doing the cleanup and the organizing, and I have some tasks, but Colleen actually does the soap making. But I'm going to do a few more too.
Yes, absolutely. But we do sit down and say, what colors would you like? What do you think this would be? What do you think about the scent?
We do
Yeah,
collaborate
yeah.
a lot about it.
Collaborate. We like that.
Yeah, it's a good word for it.
Exactly. It is.
So anyway, what happened was I had somebody cut my wood because I don't have a big table saw.
Right.
And so he was going to cut it in straight lengths. So then I thought, boy, that might be a little tight getting the soap out, because I can't adjust the ends to be a little wider to get the
Right.
soap out. So I thought I better do something in order so that Colleen, if she can't get the soap out, that we've got it out, another out, rather
Another
than
out.
the thing apart.
Right.
And so then I routed out the sides,
Mm-hmm.
and I cut this little piece so it kind of goes in like that. And then I put a bolt there. I'm not sure the bolt's necessary or not. I'm not sure. Anyway, so I have made 5 of these.
Yes, she has.
And they work well.
Really well. I'm really, really happy.
Good. Colleen just lines them with freezer paper.
Right.
And then I made a lid because I already had this kind of strip wood there.
Right.
So I just made a lid so you can wrap it in a towel if you need
Exactly.
to.
Exactly.
And there you go. So we've got 5 molds, and these make about 15 or 16 bars.
16 bars, yep.
And they're exactly the size that we love.
Yes.
Like,
It's called tall and skinny.
yeah, well, that's
There
not
you
me. Short and chubby. We should have had a mold that was short and chubby.
Okay, times
Okay.
2. Me
All
too.
right. Anyway, so that is 5 of those. So I've been working on those, and I have this one hasn't been sealed. I've sealed the other ones.
Right.
So I've got a little bit of work to do. So I've been in the garage sealing some and not sealing some, and there you go.
There we go.
So
That's the
that's
first
quite a project that's all complete, which was good that I've been working on or finished. We're on finished objects or
Finished up.
finished objects.
Yes.
Well, you're gonna love this. You have to love this. Look at that puppy, made of soap. Because when you have the soap mold and you've got extra batter, you need to have a little mold or two
Exactly.
with your extra batter where you're gonna put it. You don't want to put it down the
Sorry.
sink or anything. And so Colleen found these online. It is so cute.
We have 2
And
puppies.
the smell. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is oatmeal and honey. And this is, I'm not even sure, but it's lovely.
It is lovely.
You can't probably think about it. Either.
I know what the fragrance is called Dragon's Blood.
Oh
The
yeah,
puppy
we're not gonna call this Dragon's Blood puppy.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
That's what the fragrance is, though.
But what do you think of those? Are they not the cutest?
They are
Soap.
so much fun.
I'm wondering how they'll be as a soap. I guess they'll just get smaller. Like
Yes.
it's kind of like the grown dog gonna go into a puppy. So
They're
those are-
really, really cute.
They are so cute. I just love them. I love them. And then we have other little molds for extra stuff too. You got one that, oh dear, I just put some brown. You're not going to be happy about that, are you?
I'm not worried about it. It's soap. It'll
It's soap.
wash off.
Oh yes. There's a cat.
Yes.
It has a little fish on there, so that's another little mold that you got that was cute. And that's an extra one.
Right.
And then there's our go-to little owls that we learned from a lady called, what's her name, Holly?
Oh, Holly, yep.
Holly, and she does soap making on YouTube, and she always filled up some little owls, so we got those. Are cute.
Exactly.
But I have never seen the puppies.
No. The
We were
puppies are
first to
new.
see the puppies. So that was a great idea. You had, So what else do I have finished? I don't really have anything that's finished right now. I've just been working on the soaps and the
Right,
and the soap
molds.
molds.
She's been doing a great job because molds are expensive, and it really was smart for her to have that lift out part because I could slide the soap out. Because
Yes.
the very first time I went to lift it,
It
wasn't coming out. No, it wasn't.
Without that, it would never come out.
We would have had broken molds and sad people. So
Yes.
it's okay.
So yeah, and also I've been busy trying to make up labels, which has been really quite the thing. I am pretty good on the computer
Yes,
as far as
you are.
Photoshop
Absolutely.
and different
Yeah,
things.
absolutely.
You know, I'm not a master at it by all means of the computer, but I know my way around Photoshop and I know my way
Yeah.
around different things. And so then I just went to the Avery, and I had some old Averys. I think that was part of the problem. I don't know. But anyway, I'm working on that. It's a little frustrating, but I'm getting there, and some of the labels have turned out okay.
Really well. We're really happy with
Right.
them. So that's our finished objects. And next we're going to talk about works in progress. My first work in progress is another pair of socks, and it is the Beachcomber Socks by KF Jones. Now, you do have to be a patron of the Bakery Bears to get that. We have talked about that. But oh my gosh, I love this pattern. This is actually a it is in
This
fact
is beautiful.
I'm really
So you're not
excited
doing
with
two at a time, I take it?
Not two at a time. So they were doing kind of as a tutorial. They're having a summer of stitching. And this once again is that Merino Yak by Regia.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful yarn, and I'm really happy. It kind of looks like a sandy beach. That's the idea.
Nice.
So I'm really, really happy with that.
And then when I saw it, I said, that looks like something you've done in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little one, and then you went and you found... These are so cute. They're little kids' boots. Knitted boots,
They
really.
are. Yep, exactly. You can fold them down if you want to do that,
Right.
but they do look the same.
Don't they?
They do. So that I'll have to look back to see what that pattern is. It was one that was out of a magazine, but
It's a little thicker yarn.
Yes.
Yeah, it was in a magazine, and I thought, those are so cute. And next thing I know, you had a pair knitted up. So
That's
they
right.
look great.
but the color.
Yeah, the color and everything, they look great.
There you go.
Good job.
There we are. All right. So that's my first work in progress. My second work in progress is something from Laura Nelkin. Now, you're going to look at this, and May's going to say,
What? Oh, we need some printer ink, is what
we
I'm
need
going to
some
say.
color ink in the printer. Now, to be honest with you, I've printed something since then, and it came out fine. So it may be just the colors that are in here. So this is the Chillo
It always happens
collar.
to me, never happens to Colleen.
Well, it appears it happened to me.
Yeah.
And it's by Laura Nelkin. Now, it is in the process. So I put on all my beads.
This is beautiful.
Let's see if I
This
can.
looks like a lot of work.
You know what? It's not too bad, but you know, working with beads takes a little bit of learning, but the cotton itself is quite
beautiful.
something.
Yeah.
It's called Valdani, size 5 pearl cotton, and I do
Beautiful.
like it. And now that I've found what this is, I know that I could use it with some of her other patterns. So this came as the Lola's kit. It's called the Chillo collar, and something about a chilling cheetah or something. So all the things for it came in this little case, which is kind of cute.
That is cute.
And we used to keep our thumb drives in there,
Yep.
that kind of thing, which is cool. So that'll hold on to that
And you
part.
said something about this. Now that you know what this is, what do you mean by that?
Well, sometimes when you get cotton or something, you can't. It's a little tricky to find.
Oh,
But
okay.
I know of a store that we actually are planning on go back to visit, because when we went,
can
they
you-
were in the middle of some construction. So and they have this.
Oh, nice.
So it's exciting because I have some beads and now I have ideas. ideas. So that's that. Now my last work in progress is my embroidery. And I'm still working on it, and it actually is helpful because my shoulder is playing games with me a little bit. So I'm trying to be careful with it. Just knit a little bit at a time. So this is the embroidery, and I did get it off of Amazon, and it's called Cherish Handcraft is where it's from. And there is a needle in here, May, so I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
And so there is the front of my work.
Very nice.
So I continue to work at it a little bit at a time. And what's going to happen is finally I'll get to the end. I'll go, oh, I'm done. Because, you work. When I'm looking at it, I go, oh, I've got that done. So this gray might be hard to see, but the pot for the plant is there. And I know some of you will know what the name of that plant is, and I'm not really much of a gardener. So if you want to put that in the comment section below, then I'll be able to say what the name of that plant is.
That's very nice. You got a lot of patience. That's all I'm going to say on that
There
one.
you go. Well, it does help me because I like to sit and craft while we're watching TV at night. This one's a little tricky because you got to keep your head down. You can't just go.
Right.
Like with knitting, I can do this and not look at it, but with embroidery, I have to look at it.
Now, your shoulder is hurting, and this for various different reasons. We know
Right.
you do play pickleball, you do knit, repetitive kind of things. You do
Yes.
have to do your physiotherapy exercises, which we're not really good at.
No, I
always.
got to get better.
But you are a certified yoga teacher.
I am, in fact.
And I think we've talked about maybe you could do something for a knitter on
Yes.
what you could
So
do.
knitting for yogas. That's not it. Yoga for knitters is what I want to say. And I think I'm going to do that. I might do them maybe a little 15-minute, 10-minute kind of thing. So you're going to be my guinea pig.
Okay.
And you're going to do it with me.
You know I'm not flexible with yoga. Colleen
okay.
can go into a pretzel and go to yoga, but it's not really
It's not that kind of pretzel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's very gentle.
It'll be gentle and just it's going to be working your hands and your wrists and your shoulders.
Okay.
Work on posture a little bit. So
Oh, yeah, have to work on that. Yeah.
posture, sit
Okay.
up. Remember, tall and skinny. Okay, so those are my works in progress. And May, what about you?
Yes, I have been working in the garage over and
It's
above
your
all this
happy
other
place.
stuff. It's my happy place. But because I've been on the computer and trying to get some labels and trying to do this, I haven't been there as much as I'd like to be, but I have been able to start a few little projects. Now, if you remember before, I was making these little Great Lake, what do you call these, wood slices, I guess? And what I had to do is I used a scroll saw, which the blade goes right through the whole wood.
Okay.
So then when you put resin in here, you have to have a back.
something on the back, right?
So I thought, what can I do that, because I don't really like this look,
No.
the back, but I do like this part.
Right.
So then I thought, well, why don't I router, like I bought a router piece over the winter.
Okay.
I got it from Amazon, and it's just this tiny little needle, like tiny. And so I decided to router out the Great Lakes.
So you don't have to worry about the back.
So I don't have to worry about the back. And so now I've
Smart
got these
woman.
routed out. I'm going to pour my resin in.
Right. That
And then
makes sense.
the back is going to be okay. Now, with this, because I put, with these ones here,
Right.
I have to have a back because I've got the buffalo plaid in there.
Yes.
And I wasn't sure how to get the buffalo plaid in with the router.
Right,
blah, blah, blah.
exactly.
So I had to do those this way with the scroll saw.
All the way through.
And now I'm just at the point where I'm trying to figure out what kind of a backing I could put on there that's not bulky or lumpy. And I'm thinking maybe a very, very thin cork.
Oh, that's
Possibly.
a good idea.
I don't really want to do felt. I thought about felt.
Yeah.
But there's
Would
gotta
cork
be a thin.
keep the resin from coming out though?
I meant after the fact.
Oh, after the fact. Okay.
Right, so I'm going to tape, put the material
Oh, okay,
and
perfect.
tape and everything,
Yep.
get it all kind of in there, and then for a nice finish,
Mm-hmm.
put on a cork. Oh, yeah, I can see right through that.
Yes. So off
Right.
the record. It's okay if it's on the record. You can buy a cork that you can actually sew, so it's thin.
Right.
That would work for that.
Really.
I
So
might have a
that-
little bit here, but I don't
Okay.
think it's the color you want.
Right, because I'm
but
not
I got
very,
it.
very thin. Very, very.
Do you want me to run and get it right now so you
No,
can see
no,
it?
I'll see you later.
Okay, so I have very thin because the sewing machine has to be able to go through it.
Oh, okay,
You can
so
order
that'd
it
be
from
perfect.
Amazon. They have different colors, and
That
I
might
will
work.
show you what it is.
That might work. So then I'll have my two little, things.
Brilliant.
Now I'm also.
Smart lady.
I'm also, I have
okay.
quite a few of these. My man that I get my wood from, he's got quite a few, what do you call this, live edge wood.
Right.
And I do take the bark off. The bark looks so good.
Right.
But I do take the bark off because it ends up falling off. It never really stays on
Right,
anyway.
right.
But it's such a good look.
It
you
is a
know?
good look.
And this doesn't look as good with the bark off. But
Right.
once maybe the blue's in there, it might be okay.
Would you ever paint this dark around the edge? No.
No.
Okay, never mind. Not a good idea.
You could, I guess you could stain it a little darker, but then
But
you
that
might
might
stain
mess
with
it up.
bleed
Okay,
in there.
never mind.
No, but anyway, we're gonna go with that. I've got a few more pieces of live edge. That's maybe different kinds of wood, and that'll be interesting to see how that goes. So
Yes.
that's what I'm going to put away at. I'm really happy how the rotor has worked
It
with
is
that little
really,
rotor
really good.
piece. I've
Yeah.
got other bits I haven't tried yet, so I'm excited to try those.
She's
So,
so
yeah.
talented.
Oh, come on now.
So
Anyway,
those
that's my works in progress.
are work in progress, and next we're going to talk about our adventure.
As I mentioned in the intro, our adventure took us to St. Catharines, Ontario, to the Pink Flower Lady Yarns. That was on our way to Niagara-on-the-Lake when we took my mom for Mother's Day, basically. My mom had never been to Niagara-on-the-Lake, and if you have never been to Niagara-on-the-Lake, it's a must trip. It's beautiful there.
It's lots of fun.
Now, the weather wasn't like it usually is when we go, but Colleen and I are going to go back again in June.
Yes.
It was a little cooler, but we were
Right.
able to, it didn't rain. We wore some sweaters, and
Yep.
we had a great time. Did you want to talk about that and put the video in after, or do you want to talk through the video now and then talk after, or how do you want to do this? We probably should have had that sorted out before we came on camera.
Well, what I think we should probably do is take a look at the video, and then we'll come back.
Okay, let's do that.
So I feel better.
Here we are going into Tim Hortons. Our first stop is Paris, Ontario. That's kind of halfway between there and Niagara-on-the-Lake. So that's our first stop. Oh, then we have to stop for lunch, of course, Colleen.
And St. Catharines at Chuck's Roadhouse.
Yeah, that was good. Oh, look at this. Scott Street we passed. I had to get a thing of that.
Because her son is Scott.
Yeah. There's my
There
mom
we
and
are.
Hi.
We're heading into
All
the
excited
yarn
to go
store.
to the yarn store. Oh my goodness.
I said to May, she keeps taking pictures of my butt. In we go.
And the dog is there to greet us, and the dog's name is Luna. And
Dog is so well behaved. Oh my goodness.
yes, it was lovely.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hi,
And the
Luna.
store is wonderful.
It's very wide open, clean.
And lovely pink walls. And oh my goodness. I was really exciting to see a new store because we checked in on stores after COVID, and this is brand new. So as you said, it's only been open for 8 weeks. Lots of things to see, lots of yarn. It's really well laid out. The colors are beautiful. There's Luna's bed back there.
Now, how do you know where to start? When I go into a yarn store like that, well, I never really look at the yarns. How do you know where to go first?
Well, I start looking at what the weights are because most often they're weights. Oh, there she is. That's Andrea. And that's the owner.
Yeah, and those nice pink walls are really nice too.
They
That's
are
cool. There's my mom
beautiful.
trying to find the top shelf. Of course, Mom, there you are.
That's it.
Trying to find that yarn that you like. My mom's a knitter also, but she's not as an avid knitter as what Colleen is. And she usually knits with, I would say, different types of yarns.
Yes, she likes an Aran yarn. That's what
Yes.
she likes.
Oh, yes. If I heard her say Aran yarn once, I heard her say, "Where's your Aran yarn? Where's your Aran yarn?" And I don't know if this kind of store, I think, sells that. Where do they sell?
It's a weight that's similar to worsted, but I think that you can get Aran yarn in different weights if you're back in Scotland or England.
Oh, okay, because she is adamant that she gets Aran yarn and Aran patterns. Where's the patterns? She's saying, where's the patterns?
Yeah.
And we're trying to explain to her about Ravelry, but Colleen, when we came home, set her up on Ravelry so that she could search in the patterns and
Right,
that kind of
right.
thing. So that was helpful.
Lots of good samples. The store is really, really nice, actually.
It's clean. It's nice. The owner there, she said that she brings out the table. There's lots of chairs she's got back there.
And she said that on Tuesday afternoons, there's kind of a sit and knit that isn't quite as busy. And then on Wednesday evening, she has one that's a little bit busier.
Look
and
at
so
that.
people love it. Now, Andrea was working on a sweater called Etta, and it was beautiful. She was pretty close to done, and I really, really liked it.
So is that what you were talking about, is the sweater there?
Exactly.
That's
And
right.
I asked her also what her favorite notion was, and she said barber cords.
Oh, there's Luna.
Oh, Luna's so cute. And so barber cords are something that I've heard of and have some of. They're from Finland and actually designed by a barber. I did not know that, so Andrea was lovely to explain all that to me, which was great. There's some samples.
There's
There's
the
that thing
horse,
from
IKEA.
IKEA. There we go. I said to May, we got to get one. Oh,
Oh, my mom found somebody to talk to. Then there was a shopping. There had to be shopping involved. This is where you got your shoes, I think.
Yep.
And then here we are at our cabin in KOA in Niagara, Niagara
Niagara
Falls
Falls,
on Lundy's
exactly.
Lane. It's a great place. It's very clean.
oh, it was
The
lovely.
cabins are always clean there. Anytime you've been there, and they provide everything. Like the barbecue was spotless. All right, give us a wave, Mom. There's the inside of the cabin with beautiful big TV.
So there was a room that had 2 bunk beds. There was a room that had a queen bed or double bed.
Yeah.
And then microwave, stovetop, sink,
Yeah.
bathroom with shower. They're lovely.
And it comes with all the linens, although we take our own kind of stuff. and
Exactly.
It's nice, but it's so clean. I just love it there. So we were able to hang out, watch some TV, chat. And then on our drive to Niagara-on-the-Lake the next day, we had a little stopover at some scenic places, some scenic
You
routes.
can see it got cold. It kind of
Yes.
dropped 10 degrees from one day to the next.
And then getting into the car, we saw a blue jay. And I just happened to have my window down and the camera. And I got a perfect picture of the blue jay. And, you know, blue jay gets a bad rap, but it was very nice to those other
That's
birds.
right. Now there's the golf course at Niagara-on-the-Lake.
And we're
So
having
obviously
lunch.
we were inside. We have sat outside in the past.
There we are having lunch. Yep. So, well, anyway, we had a great time. So,
We had a great time at Pink Flower Lady Yarns. It was great. Andrea was wonderful. The store was actually a couple of years in the making because she needed to find just the right spot, and she's done it. It's a nice space. It's open. It's bright.
it's in a plaza.
It's in
great.
a plaza,
Easy to
so it's great.
access.
Yeah, lots of good parking. Her hubby does some stained glass and did a stained glass of a ball of yarn
On the
with
front,
some
yeah.
knitting needles out of it. It is amazing. And they've got some friends that do some of the, they're like plaques, and they want to say, "May the force be with you," as in EWU. So they're going to
And
get
there were
that
some
one
of
done.
those on the video, and also
Exactly.
that head with the hat on it. They're working on selling some of those too. That
Oh,
somebody makes
excellent.
those, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, so lots of good things. And Andrea was really helpful. I was looking at some yarn, which you'll see in my souvenirs. And she was explaining to me about it because it's got nettle in, and she says it's one of the oldest fibers.
Really,
So anyway, so I was excited that I found something new that I didn't have before. So we did have a great time.
we did. And I didn't take a lot of the video on Niagara-on-the-Lake because we did go with my mom and we were out for dinner, and,
Right.
and we were just kind of enjoying the time. And we did go for dinner at this fish and chip restaurant, which was great. It's a fairly new restaurant, and it's coming to London at some point. We're
Right.
really excited about that. It is here in St. Thomas, the little place not too about 40 minutes from us, St.
Yeah.
Thomas.
Little Red Mitten.
Little
St.
Red
Thomas.
Mitten. So when we go to Little Red Mitten, we might pop into the fish and chip place. Do you remember the name of it?
Yep, it's called the Halibut House. Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Clean, bright, wonderful, and the food fantastic.
The food was excellent. Yes, so we had a great time, great adventure. We're certainly going to be going back there in June. And people that you've been watching and some of our followers, which we really appreciate, by the way, you've seen us on Niagara Lake. And if you look back at some of our podcasts, we've done a little bit more on Niagara on the
Right.
Lake, which was great. So there you go. Great trip.
So next we're going to talk about souvenirs. My first 2 souvenirs, yes, I said 2, come from Pink Flower Lady Yarns. And the first was that nettle yarn that I was talking about. So it's 68% superwash fine merino, 32% nettle, and it is lovely. And it's called Contented Grapes.
Now
Little nettle soft
Tell
fingering.
us more about this nettle.
I wish I could. So I have to do some research. But nettle is, I know
A weed.
It is a weed. There's something called stinging nettle, which if you brush against it, I guess stings.
you, yeah.
But I don't know much about it, but I know that it's an old fiber and it's kind of been used for centuries to be used in knitting. But this is so soft, and I
is.
love the we know I'm a purple person. I like purple, and this is a kind of calm down version, but Contented Grapes. See, Contented
Grapes.
Grapes.
It goes actually with what you have on. It's
I
a
know.
perfect match.
I really do like it. So my job right now, because it is fingering weight, is to find a nice shawl and start working on it. Remember you said you have to be a season ahead?
Right.
So I'm going to make myself a new shawl for the winter.
I'm just reading the label. It says it's hand dyed in Canada, but it was made in Italy. That's kind of interesting.
Exactly. So
Nice.
lots of yarn is spun in different places and then
Brought
brought
here, and then we
the
dye
dyers.
it.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
cool.
And I have other ancient art yarns, but I've never had this soft little nettle soft fingering.
It's
never
a tongue
had
twister.
It is a tongue twister. Now, the other thing that I found, which I was very excited about, and May's gonna laugh because I have to say look, because that
Is
some
that how you
people
say
say
You can't just say looking?
Looking? I can't say. Look it, I think is how it's actually pronounced. But some people say likey, and there's all different ways of pronouncing it. But when I'm making hats with bulky yarn, at the top you need to have double pointed needles, and they're not easy to get. So these are a size 9mm, and I was really happy that Andrea had them in her shop.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Because they're not easy to get, because you've been looking for these.
Exactly. So I was very happy with that. So that's my first 2 souvenirs. So that was what we got the first day. My second day, these are on the floor. Bad luck on the table. There's the shoes.
Yay!
Yes. So they're going to be great for the summer. And yes, they are in fact 5.5s, which you have lots of trouble finding. So
I
really
would put money that everybody that watches us and some of our subscribers, which we really appreciate. Did I mention that? We really appreciate you doing that. I bet you they have Skechers. I bet you everybody has a pair of Skechers.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a pair of Skechers, you need to get a pair of Skechers because they're so comfortable on and off. Now, these are the ones where you slip on and off like they advertise on TV, or no?
These are not as fancy as that. But they are the ones that you can throw in the wash.
That's great for the summer.
Exactly.
Nice.
So on the floor, where the shoes should be. So then do you want to go next with yours?
No, you can keep going.
Keep going. All right. So on the way home, I said to May, let's surprise your mom by going to Mary Maxim's in Paris.
In Paris, yes.
So we went to a coffee shop, and then we went and looked in a store called John M. Hall, which has a bunch of different linens, and then we went to Mary Maxim. Now, we were looking for some yarn because in Niagara-on-the-Lake, we had seen this scarf. Well, you and your mom had spent more time with it. I've seen it once, but I could get it on their website. And it is a nice cabled scarf, and it has a loop with some buttons. And we're trying to figure it all out. So I'm going to have to look at the pictures and try and figure out how they do that. So we were trying to get some yarn, and we needed something that had a little bit of wool in it. So they have this is 90% acrylic, premium acrylic, and 10% alpaca.
What's the difference between a premium acrylic or acrylic?
Well, I'm just giggling because anybody who's watched the Bakery Bears knows that Kay of the Bakery Bears was doing a review and went premium acrylic. And so her husband just kept pressing that. Because it's a neat way. But anyway, this is Woodlands. I love this color.
It's very soft.
It is. It's really, really soft. And this is denim, so I think it's going to be really, really pretty.
That's be nice.
Heathery, so that's good. The other thing, speaking of the Bakery Bears and being a patron, Kay is doing a cross stitch. The idea is during June, July, you're going to do the cross stitch, and then in August, you're going to make that cross stitch into a project bag. Oh my goodness, all my favorite things all at once. So I was able to pick up some light blue, and it's 14 count Ada. And that was at Mary Maxim. And it was half the price of what it would have cost me to buy it from Amazon. So I was impressed.
Well, there you go. That's unusual because usually Amazon's the better
cheaper
price. So
exactly.
That's great. Good thing.
So I think I just was glad I had it in my hand. It was the right count, so that's good.
Right.
I had a great time.
We had fun.
We did have a good time.
We had fun on that. Like,
Lots of laughs.
Lots of laughs, lots of eating.
Yes.
A little TV.
Yeah.
A little snoring.
Let's
we
no.
Was your
Earplugs. Earplugs. Earplugs.
We bought my. We went out the next day and bought earplugs because my mom snores so much. We didn't get much sleep the first night, but we had a good laugh about it anyway.
Exactly.
It was funny. And then my mom won't mind me telling me this, but she got up at 1:30 ready to go in the shower. It's like then she goes, "Oh, it's 1:30 in the morning." So needless to say, it was fun.
It was.
But wasn't without its little moments. Anyway, you talked about the linen store. What was it called again? In
John
Paris?
Hall Linens.
John Hall Linens. I didn't really buy anything on Niagara Lake, but we did go to Paris. I bought these. No, this is Niagara-on-the-Lake.
This is Niagara-on-the-Lake.
I looked at the linens in that place,
Exactly.
and I felt bad that I didn't buy anything.
Right.
And so then when we went to Niagara-on-the-Lake,
Right.
I saw these tea towels that I thought would be great for our display for our soaps.
Very
because if
nice.
we do a maple syrup soap, would
Oh,
that not
that's
be
good.
awesome?
That would be
This
fantastic.
inspired me for soaps.
Exactly.
Of course, we're going to do lavender soap.
Absolutely.
That's going to be great for the display.
Fantastic.
And of course, we're going to do a lemon soap.
Absolutely.
So I thought those would be great for a little bit of display and a little bit of color on our thing.
So May is all about ideas and all about presentation and setup, so I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. That'll be great.
Very
And I
good.
can't wait to show all of you.
Exactly. So thanks so much for watching. If you like what you're seeing, give us a thumbs up, comment down below. Let us know what you'd like to see, if there's a new yarn store in your area, if there's a new fish place in your area, we'd love to go. But we really like doing this for you. So subscribe as well, because it helps us to continue doing this.
And give us a thumbs up. You mentioned that already.
I did.
And ring the bell and subscribe. All those lovely things.
All
right?
those lovely things.
We appreciate it.
Very much. So until next time,